What's up, my people? So today I wanted to talk about something that affects a lot of us around the world. So let's read this caption of this photo right here first before we get into it. White House assesses ways to persuade women to have more children. Proposals include offering $5,000 baby bonuses in the form of a child tax credit. So basically, we're not having enough kids, right? And not only in America are we not having enough kids, but this is a problem in a lot of countries around the world. So the other day, I'm on YouTube and this video comes up and it's basically about South Korea, right? And in the video, they're saying South Korea is having a kind of a population crisis, right? It was talking about their birth rate being very low. And in the video, I learned some things, right? And, correct me if I say anything wrong in this video. But they were saying that in order for them to, thrive as a society, they need a birth rate of at least 2. Their birth rate in South Korea is like 0.7. That means every couple that's getting together is having less than 1 child on average, right? And that's a problem. That's a problem. They were saying that, after a couple more generations, maybe 100, 200 years, they're going to have a severe population crisis. And, after a while, their culture could be gone completely just based on them not having enough kids. And this is not something that only goes on in South Korea. It's a lot of countries that have this problem. I actually have the list of fertility rates right here. And as you can see, when it comes to Africa and most countries in Africa and Middle East, you see their birth rates are 5, 4, 3s, which is all very good, right? That's saying this is how many births per woman on average they are having. So of course in Africa they're good, right? They're definitely good in Africa. Then when you get down below the Middle Eastern and Caribbean countries, below Honduras and all of that, below Saudi Arabia, you start getting into the 2s. We see South Africa, Dominican Republic, they're still above 2. And once you get to Cook Island, we're exactly at 2. And this is where you see all of the countries that are in the kind of the problem zone, right? We got India, Peru, Sri Lanka, Greenland, Vietnam, Mexico, El Salvador. Where's the United States? The United States is down here at 1.6. So even we are in that zone to where we aren't having enough kids. And, it gets worse as you go down. And I think down here at the bottom of the list, you see South Korea 0.7, China 0.7, and a different part of China at 0.69. So, yeah, we see the more so developed countries are the ones that are mostly in the problem area, right? And I would say, well, I can't say just the developed countries, right? Because some of these African countries are and Middle Eastern countries are fairly developed as well. But when we talk about the West and we talk about Western culture, that's mostly the problem area in Europe, right? Western culture, Europe, and Asia. Those seem to be the most problem areas. And I would say it's probably because of the cost associated with having a child in most of these countries. To have a kid in America, it costs you a lot of money. You got to pay for the birth, prenatal support. Once you have a kid, they need all types of shots. Children cost, right? And right now in a lot of countries, people aren't earning living wages or feel like they have enough money to actually have kids. A lot of people around my age, I'm 28 right now, I still don't have kids. Most of my peers, my friends, my family members in my age range, they don't have or if they do have kids, they probably have like one, right? And mostly it's a cost thing, it's not really a can't find the right partner type of thing. Me and my wife have been together for almost 5 years now. It'll actually be 5 years next month. And yeah, we don't have a kid yet. And that's, again, mostly based on trying to make sure our financials is straight before we actually have a child. And a lot of people are having that issue, right? Or, trying to overcome that hurdle. And then you have some countries where, a lot of those Asian countries, they also have the same problem. Under that video about South Korea, it was a lot of, millennials and Gen Z people talking under there and just saying like, yeah, they aren't making enough money. The women have to work like 2 jobs just like the men. And also we also see in those Asian countries that there isn't the social climate is kind of messed up between like the young kids. They spend a lot of time on the internet, not much in-person human interaction going on. So, that can also contribute to the problem. Now back to here. This is, again, the White House is trying to solve this problem, and a way they're doing it is offering you money to have a baby. I think that's kind of a step in the right direction. But I do think that you'd also need to, make it so kids are like beforehand, because this is after you have a child, right? This is after you have a child, and you better be lucky enough that that child comes around tax season, so you can actually get this tax credit when you need it. It's gonna come in handy whenever you get it, but I feel like we need to just make things more easier for the average person to live, work, and play, and still be able to earn money and have enough to where they can say like, okay, I have money to be able to afford the things I want in life, and also have a child that's not going to be struggling, and we ain't going to be on welfare and government assistance for the rest of our lives, right? We got to make things more affordable if we want the younger generations to have more kids. And we also have to address the gender wars in America, but that's a whole different topic. Let me just see what it says down here in the full story. Trump admin is reportedly they're just considering this right now. So this is one of the proposals, but everything that they're considering right now is to boost the U.S. birth rate. Only be able to marry couples, effectively excluding single mothers. Okay, so this isn't going to help anybody, right? Because maybe it'll put people in a more position to get married, but a lot of men are avoiding marriage, and people are having kids out of wedlock. So this isn't going to be anything. I feel like this is the problem, right? We have a lot of older people in Congress, a lot of older people are making these proposals, and they are just out of touch with the kids nowadays. Now, people should be getting married. I do agree with that, but right now, if they're not gonna, make marriage laws or family court laws a little bit different to where men feel more of an incentive to get married, this $5,000 isn't gonna be enough for a man to say like, yeah, I'm gonna sign that paper, right? It's just not gonna happen. Other proposed measures include creating a national matter of motherhood for women with more than 6 children, and funding research on natural fertility methods. That might be okay. They're saying they're going to give mothers a medal for having more kids. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. I don't think that's really going to do anything. It says for mothers to have 6 kids at least. But yeah, they're basically saying they want the birth rate to get back up to a 2, right? That's what they want. They want it to get back up to a 2, at least, right? At least. So, the more kids, the better. But like I said, they got to make it more affordable. If they don't, then it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Luckily, I guess we got AI robots to help out, because, people are already struggling getting good employees. the job market, I hear it sucks right now as far as like the jobs that are actually available. People don't want to work fast food. People don't want to work retail. We're just in different times. We're definitely in different times. Let me know what you guys think about this article and, this whole conversation about birth rate and fertility rates and all that stuff down below. As always, love y'all. I'm out.